Hey there, fourth grade trumpets. I hope that you guys had a great weekend and that you're doing well. I miss you. So, today's lesson, we are going to start out, of course, with our mouthpiece. Can you buzz me your favorite song? Can you guess that one? I don't know why I picked that one. For all you Star Wars fans, hopefully you knew what it was. Good, do some tonguing. There's some tricky tonguing. All right, awesome. I've been practicing tonguing for a long time. So as you practice it more and more, you can do it faster and faster. That's many, 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 many years of practicing tonguing. All right, here we go. Let's start with our warm-up today. It's going to be the same as last week. Actually, it's going to be similar to last week, except we're going to add some new things to it because you guys are ready for the new stuff. All right, so last week we talked about 3-note scales, right? So scales are just like an arrangement of notes that just step up and then step back down. But you guys have learned some new notes since we did that 3-note scale. All right, so you learned 2 more notes, and instead of a 3-note scale, what do you think it's going to be called now? 5-note scale. So you guys can now do your 5-note scale. All right, so let's start with some whole notes. What does a whole note look like? That, right? How many beats does a whole note get? 4. All right, so we're going to start on our C. So this is what we're going to do. C, make sure you can actually see my instrument. C, then we'll go to D, E. All right, now we're going to add our 2 new notes that we learned last week. So after E, we're going to step up to the F. Then we'll step up to the G, that high note that we learned last time. That's our highest note. Then we'll go back to our F, then down to the E, and then D, and then C. All right, let's try it. Starting on our low C, I'm going to play it with you. So I'm just trying to stay right with me. With whole notes. Here we go. Starting our C. 1, 2, ready, and. Nice job. Cool. As you go up to those higher notes, remember, you're going to have to firm up your embouchure. These muscles here, think faster air. Make sure that you have nice firm corners. You're going to have to use your stomach muscles down here too, all right, to get to those high notes. For some of you, they're going to come out really easy. For others, it's going to be really, really hard to get to those high notes. Some people are just more natural with higher notes. Some people are more natural with lower notes, all right? Everyone's different on the trumpet, all right? And for any instrument, all right? There's going to be different things that everyone is more natural at, okay? So we're just going to keep working on getting up to those high notes. And they're going to get better. You're just going to have to build those muscles. Remember, we're using all these muscles in our face that we've never really used before, right? Okay, let's do our scale one more time, except this time with 4 of these. What are these called? Quarter notes. Awesome. And they can look like that or like that. So 4 quarter notes. We're going to make sure we're tonguing, and we're going to go all the way up and down that scale, just like we did. Here we go. Starting at our C. Tonguing every note. 1, 2. Check your hand. Check your hands. Left hand holding it. Right hand up on top. Check those fingers. Make sure we're nice and curved. Pinky's just going to rest on top of that. Curved fingers. Thumb. Check your thumbs. Man, I'm not there right now to make sure your hands are in the right spot. So you guys have to be the police about that. Normally, I'm like all over fourth graders about where their hands are on their instrument and making sure they're in the right spot. But I can't do that right now, so you need to. Make sure your hands are in the right spot. Please, please, please. When we get back into that classroom, I don't want to be breaking all these bad habits. Check your hand. Thumb, 1. So this is my first valve. My thumb goes in between my first and my second valve. It just sits there, right? Sits right there. 1, 2, 3. Pinky on top. This hand, left hand is holding it. Check your hand. All right, now we'll play. Here we go. Sitting up nice and tall, feet flat on the ground, back straight. And 1, 2 with quarter notes and good. Did you remember to hold that last note? All right. Awesome. Guys, that's your warm-up for this week. I want you to play that 5-note scale. Every time you play your instrument, start with buzzing, then play your 5-note scale with whole notes. You can play with the quarter notes. You can actually change it up. You can play with half notes. You can mix up rhythms. You can do like a half note and 2 quarter notes, or 2 quarter notes and a half note. You can decide. All right, but the most important thing is making sure you play that 5-note scale. That is so important in learning our instruments, all right? Learning those scales as like the fundamentals, right? And building those muscles. Cool. All right, guys, really quick note. I just want you to all know that these videos are not meant to stress anybody out. If you feel like you're a little overwhelmed with the amount of work that you have to do at home, like between, the other class, like your classroom work, like your math and your ELA and all that stuff, or that plus like chores that you have to do or anything like that, and it's like kind of overwhelming to do that plus trying to keep up with some of these band lesson videos. These lesson videos are not meant to overwhelm you at all. I don't want to overwhelm you. These are meant to, for you to, if you're able to and you want to continue working on your instrument, to be able to do that, okay? But if you ever feel like you're stressed out and you have too much, then take a break from these videos, okay? Focus on that other stuff. Get that other work done first. And then if you have a couple minutes and you can play your instrument or you can watch one of the videos and then play, then do that. But have fun with it, and I don't want these to stress you out, okay? Remember, once we all get back to school, everyone's going to get caught back up over time, okay? But I don't want these videos to, be a stress, okay? This is supposed to be fun and to get to play our instruments and to continue to get to make music, okay? And that's what our goal is. Okay, awesome. Also, remember, if you want to stay with some of the past videos, do that. If you want to, focus on that stuff, just because I have a new video that comes out doesn't mean you have to jump to it if you're not quite ready. Take your time, work through that other stuff that we've done if you feel like that's best for you. Just take your time and do these however you want to do them. All right, now I'm done talking. Let's play. So go to page 8 in your book. Number 1.23, that's going to be our review song for today. You've already been working on it, so let's play it together right now. Here we go. Even higher. This is where we started that high G, right? Here we go. Let's try it. Even higher. Play that high note for me. Hopefully it matches mine. Play it one more time. Go, think really fast there. To get to that high G, a lot of times it's going to come out louder than your other notes, and that's normal. To get high notes, you have to use a lot of air, all right? And when you use a lot of air, it comes out loud, all right? That's okay. It's going to do that, and that's what you got to do, all right? It'll eventually be the same dynamic or the volume as the other notes. Here we go, from the beginning, starting on our high G. 1, 2, fast, air, and... Rest, rest. Rest, rest. 1, some of you are probably at home playing along and you're like, she's doing this so slow. I could do this faster. All right. I bet you can do this faster. However, when we play it together, make sure you are staying with me. Don't rush through it. All right. This is never a race. Music is not a race ever. It's not who can play this faster. It's trying to stay together. So even if you can play it faster, doesn't mean you should play it faster, right? So unless we're all doing it faster, then you can play it faster. So how about we go back and we'll do it one more time, faster, but you have to stay with me. All right, here we go from the beginning. See if you can do this. And 1, 2, ready, and rest, rest. Rest, rest. 1, 2. Whew, that was pretty fast. Were you able to keep up? If you want, you can go back and work on those little sections. If you felt like you were hesitating at all in there, that's going to tell you, oh, that's probably a part I don't know quite as well. So go back, focus on that little section, like 1 measure or 2 measures at a time. Remember, we talked about that last week. Airband just those measures, then play just those measures by themselves 3 times in a row. And if you can play it 3 times in a row perfectly, that means you know it. Then go back and play it. And then see if you can play with me in that video. But if you felt really good about that and you're ready to move on, let's move on. We're going to do 2 new songs today. Go to page 9. 1.24, Down by the Station, is going to be our first one. All right, so we know 5 notes now, and we're going to just focus on those 5 notes for quite a while, all right, because there's a ton of songs that we can play with those 5 notes, which is pretty cool. All right, this blue box up here talks about phrasing. All right, so a phrase in music is similar to a sentence in speech. It should continue uninterrupted until the music indicates a breath. Okay, so look next to that. It's got like a comma, right? And then it says a breath mark indicates to take a breath through your mouth. Okay, so in band, we have to breathe to play our instruments, right? So a lot of times in music, they're going to tell us the best place to breathe. And they're saying, this is where you should breathe, all right? So it looks just like a comma, except it's above our music, right? It's above the staff. Anytime you see that, it's called a breath mark, and it means breathe. And the best way for musicians to breathe is through our mouth, because we can take in more air, right? So when I play trumpet, I'm breathing through the sides. Like I don't even lift it off of my mouth unless I have enough time to. All right, but if it's a quick breath, like in this song, you don't actually have any rest in this song. So you have to breathe. Just try this with me, just on a C, no fingers. Just try to breathe on the corners of your mouth. Good, so I'm not even like the mouthpiece is still touching this part of my lip, but it's just the sides that I'm breathing. All right, we're going to try that as we play the song. Down by the Station. Do you guys know this song? It used to be sung in like elementary music classes. I think when I was in elementary school, I sang it. But it goes like, down by the station early in the morning. I don't know the rest of the words. Da 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 da. I think that I should look up these words. Maybe you should too. You have to see if anyone in your family knows this song. Down by the Station. It's a really well-known song, as it says at the end of this music, American folk song. All right, here we go. Let's give it a try. How about you pause the video and airband it? Pause the video right now, airband this song. And then when you're ready, we're going to play it together. Here we go. From the beginning, Down by the Station. 1, 2, ready, and... Breathe. Breathe. Cool. notes in it, right? All right, that has a lot of good stuff to work on, especially working on it in little tiny chunks like we've been talking about, all right? Okay, hey guys, let's go down to the next one, 1.25. Some folks do. Okay, first thing, you're going to notice, in this big blue box right here, it talks about the guy who wrote this next song. His name was Stephen Collins Foster. Go ahead and read that about him. He wrote a lot of really important songs, like American folk songs that are very popular, and they especially were really popular back in the day, but they're still well known today, all right, which means he was important and he's still remembered. You can also read about the art, like what was happening in the art world at that time and in the world. Okay, so pretty cool to read some of that stuff and get connections about, when the music was written and what was going on in the world. Okay, now look at some folks do. It says right next to it, before you play, draw these symbols where they belong. Treble clef, time signature, and final bar line. So you're going to take your pencil, and it has to be a pencil, and you're going to go ahead, draw your treble clef, also known as a G clef. Draw your G clef at the beginning, and then your time signature, that's the 4/4. Notice in the other songs, as an example, where you need to draw them. So they have to be between certain lines of that staff. And then at the very end, you can draw your final bar line. Cool. Let's airband this one together really quick. Here we go. I'll say the first two measures, and you say the rest of them. Beginning. Ready, and E, 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 G. You say it. Two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, here we go. Let's play it all together. Beginning. 1, 2, sit up tall, and guys, it's got like a bunch of G's in there, and you're going to feel it, all right? Make sure we use those stomach muscles and we firm up our mouth to get to those high G's, all right? The more we do them, the better they're going to get, okay? You'll probably feel those muscles the more you play those G's, okay? Because you're really building them, all right? So keep working hard at those. They'll get better each time we do them, I promise, okay? So guys, this week I want you to focus on 1.24 and 1.25. You should practice them a bunch, especially down by the station. People in your family or your, call up some aunts or uncles or grandparents, or find someone that you could play it for, or your parents, and see if they recognize that song. But practice it first. Always practice first and then play. Okay, awesome. Cool, guys, I hope you have a great week. Don't forget, underneath the title of this video is a quick survey. Do it right now so that you don't forget. I just want to know what you've been practicing this week. You only have to do it once each week. And yeah, have a great week. I'll see you next time. Bye.